Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to episode 112 of Here's What I Watched. In this episode, I want to talk about the Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan movie Thunderbolts, which was directed by Jake Schreier. I like this movie a lot. I definitely recommend it. It's far from a perfect film, but it's definitely one of the better Marvel movies in Phase 5 and a much better movie than Captain America Brave New World, which I was so unimpressed by I didn't even bother doing a podcast episode on. Thunderbolts is a Marvel movie that's smaller in scale. It's very character-driven and a lot less about spectacle, which might be a problem for some people, but it worked for me, and I would definitely recommend the movie. And what the movie's about, it's about a group of morally ambiguous operatives who all get sent by the director of the CIA to the same place so they can kill each other because she sees them as loose ends and she's trying to cover up her involvement in something called the Sentry Project. But what happens instead is most of that group of operatives realizes what's happening and ends up forming an uneasy alliance, a very uneasy alliance, much more out of necessity than trust, and they decide to go after her. They uncover the truth behind the Sentry Project, which turns out to be something much more dangerous than any of them, or any of the people who created the project anticipated. And along the way, their personal agendas, conflicting loyalties, and past betrayals keep the Alliance constantly on the edge of collapse. And there is some action here in Thunderbolts, including what was, I thought, a very well put together action scene that showcased a very interesting collection of superpowers. And earlier in the movie, there's a much more conventional, but still very well put together fight scene. But most of the action falls pretty far short of anything you'd see in any of the Avengers movies. Thunderbolts is a bit more psychological than your typical Marvel film, but it mostly works. There were some good lines and some funny moments, and I was happy by the time I got to the end of it. So yeah, I would recommend the movie.